Hello, gentlemen of Credo. Can you guys let me know if you are able to hear me? Hello? Let me know if you guys can hear me okay. In the chat. Also, let me know if you're here. Hey, Mark. I'm going to assume that Jane Adams is actually Rick Adams, since this is the TB sectional. But unless Jane, you want to be here, completely okay. One more test for you guys. Let me know if you can hear the piano. Let me know if you just heard me playing the piano. Perfect. Okay, we are going to get started, and we're going to get started with a couple of warm-ups, and then we're going to hop into the Magnificat. All right. Just 3-note hums. And keeping in the front. Two more. Last one. Ooh, excuse me. As we go down, make sure that you're thinking up as opposed to down. Yeah? Ready? And keep going. Keep going. In the front of the mask. Two more. Last time. Good. Let's do this before we go. I'll start down here. Notice on the slide, on the last part, I'm going through all the notes. Okay, keep going. And last time. air than you think you need and use faster air. Ready, and... Last. And I hope your lips are still buzzing and they feel tingly. Yes? Okay. This is a sip of cold brew coffee, if you're wondering, because it's a long day. We're going to start with the Magnificat. And howdy, Mike. How are you doing? And a couple of reminders before we get going on the mag. We are going to do a couple of spot checks, and this is going to be for the basses on the bottom of the first page. For he hath rid... Sorry. Oh, we're not transposing this one. That seemed really high. Back to 0. Okay, so we're going to go. For he hath regarded the lowliness of his handmaiden. Just a reminder on... For he hath regarded the... Make sure we get that interval, okay? Let's go slowly. Bottom of the first page for the basses. Here we go. 1 and 2 and 1. For he hath regarded the lowliness of his handmaiden. Woo! And that's slow, and eventually this will all be on one breath, right? So when it's faster, you'll be able to make it there. Let's do that one more time, please. And I'll sing the bass part right here. The crunchiness happens for basses, it's measure 17 and 18, yeah? His handmaiden, and with the baritones, his handmaiden. And the N happens on beat 2. Okay, notice I'm saying only beat 1 and beat 2. It might look like a 4/4 bar, but remember we're in cut time, so it's one beat is a half note. Okay, here we go. Here we go, basses, and 2 and 1. For he hath regarded the lowliness of his handmaiden. And make sure you're right there on that, okay? Let's go ahead and do the tenor part, please, right there, just so we can remember what this sounds like. Here we go. 1 and 2 and 1. For he hath regarded the lowliness of his handmaiden. Long breath, okay? Let's do both parts. And 2 and 1. Hath regarded the lowliness of his handmaiden. And all the crunchies, okay? Let's do that with all the other parts going on. All right, here we go. We're gonna start Savior, basically bar 12. Here we go, and. Off, we're gonna keep going. Unison C coming up on Blessed. Call me blessed, blessed, blessed. And are off. Guide me. And 1. Good, and that part right there that we just stopped on, the bass line is actually, I think, pretty tricky. So how do we find our starting pitch? Unholy, unholy. Measure 33 for the bass baritones. That's a weird measure, okay? Let's get into that. So what you're going to hear from the soloist is, "He that is mighty doth magnify me." And that's where you get your starting B natural from, basses, okay? So it's mag of magnified on the soloist, okay? So mark that so you know where to reference. So if you want to sing that down the octave, mighty doth mag, and then you just kind of hold on to that, and holy lift, holy lift, holy is his name, and you're off on the downbeat. Okay, one more thing to watch out. Bottom of page 4, last two measures, basses. Holy is his name. Really, the word is just a tiny detour between the word holy and his. Yeah? Holy is, ba ba ba. That's where we're really going. We're just making a detour. Holy is his name right before we get there. Okay? Let's start with the tenors, please, and basses, bar 33. 1 and 2 and a 1. And holy, holy lift, holy is his name. I turned the wrong page. Okay, real fast. Tenors, just a quick reminder on bar 35. You have an F natural, okay? And this is nothing difficult out of context, yep. And holy, holy, great. But the bass is singing F sharp right before you. And holy, and holy. That's what happens right there, and it feels very disjunct, yeah? So just make a note that you have a different F than the basses, okay? Let's do this one more time. Bar 33 and 1. Holy, holy lift, holy is his name. And notice we're on an octave on the word name, right? So make sure those are matching in your mind. All right, next little chunk. Lovely duet. And his mercy is on them that fear him, lift throughout all generations. And we're off on the and of 2 on generations, okay? I think the bass line right here is just gorgeous. And I wrote underwater. What I'm thinking is complete cursive writing, okay, basses. So nothing is, and his mercy is on them that fear him. None of that, yeah. Everything is connected. And bass. And his mercy is on them that fear him throughout all generations. And I want you to make a quick note of how I handled rations, okay? Generations. The onset of shuns, or the downbeat of that bar, okay, on that dotted half note, I didn't add weight on the downbeat. What I did is I took away weight and then I crescendoed, yeah? Generations. It's the same thing that I would like for you to do when you actually record this, okay? Tenors, same concept. It's smooth and legato, yeah? There's tension between every moving note. Okay, here we go. Tenors, I'll sing your part with the basses. This is bar 40 and 1. And his mercy is on them that fear him throughout all generations. Yeah, it's the same concept, okay? Not a lot of weight on the downbeat. After the downbeat, then you crescendo through it, all right? I hope that makes sense. Let me know if you have any questions, gentlemen, in the comments while we're doing this, okay? If I'm moving too fast, let me know. If not, great. If you have any questions coming up, just go ahead and type them in the chat, and I can address them in order, okay? All right, let's go ahead and start bar 40, all parts. I'm going to add the alto part right here because it just adds to it. Here we go. 1 and 2 and 1. lift. And it's just this gorgeous. That's all it is, okay? It's not very difficult. Next part, this little chunk, he hath showed strength with his arm. That little chunk needs to blossom, okay? And what I mean by that is the bass line really lends itself to this. He hath showed strength with his arm. He hath scattered, and then we're into another thing that we'll make that adjustment here in just a second. All right, here we go. So basses. He hath show. The same thing. We're gonna have a little accent through the sh on show. He hath showed, and then we're crescendoing. He hath showed strength. Stra. The S-T-R-E. Really flip the R on the word strength, and almost, it's not onomatopoeia by any means, but the word strength needs to have the flipped R and just live into it. I need you to channel your quintessential British singer, okay? Strength with his arm, and everybody on the word arm. I do not want you to strike arm. With his arm. We don't want that. With his arm. His ah. It's almost like you're saying his arm. Okay, so you can change the S of the word his from an S to a Z. With his ah, his ah, his ah. That's what we're going for there, okay? So mark that in your music. There's no S, it's a Z. No S, it's a Z. Okay? All right, same thing for tenors. He hath showed strength with his arm. With his arm. That's a weird interval, guys. Strength with his arm. And the only way you're going to make it all the way up there is his ah. Okay? It's literally his ah. Strength with his ah, his ah. The Z goes on the top note. His ah. That's what we're going for, okay? All three voices, or not all three, bottom two voices. Here we go. Basses, tenors. Here we go. 2 and a 1. He hath showed strength with his arm. Good. I hope that was great. Next chunk. Now we're making the change. Clarion call. He hath scattered the proud in the imagination. Okay. Now we're no longer legato, but it's he hath scattered. Once you get to ska, it's almost like we go. It's a bounce. He hath scattered the proud. That's what we're looking for there. Okay, let's start with the basses. That's a lovely one note, but that gets you a lot of opportunities to be really musical. And we're top of page 6, bar 51. He hath scattered. And 1. He hath scattered the proud in the imagination. And now here's the deal. This goes much faster, right? And so it's really N01. He hath scattered the proud in the imagination of their hearts. And then we're off. Okay? That's what we're looking for. Tenors, let's go ahead and do your part. Remember, this entire thing is connected. He hath scattered the proud in the imagination of their hearts. And then there's a lift. Okay? Here we go. And 1. He hath scattered the proud in the imagination of their hearts. Yes, okay? All parts. 1 and 2 and 1. He hath scattered the proud in the imagination of their hearts. And we're all, again, we lift off on that unison, okay? Great. Now, this little next chunk, guys, bar 57, he hath put down the mighty from their seat. Okay? Remember we talked about this. Hath put down, sorry. He hath put down the might. Right there we have a change in color, yeah? And that happens with the bass line and the alto line. Okay, tenors, you have a job. The word down, you have the first note is a D sharp. The second note is an E flat. Okay, and what do I mean by that? It's the same pitch technically written, right? But tuning wise, you're going to change. Okay, here's your bass note. There's the tenor note. He hath put down the mighty. It's gonna change and it's gonna shift, and you're gonna feel it shift to the down, to the down. You're gonna feel it shift down. Like we're talking, it's just gonna feel. It's not even like you're gonna feel a note change. What you're going to feel is a change from light and bright to a little bit more darker, and that's exactly what it is. So let's do that one more time. So we have in 1. He hath put down the mighty from their seat. All right, basses, let's have you sing your part, please. And 1. He hath put down the mighty from their seat. Yeah, and everybody, you can enjoy the M of from their seat. Spend some time through the M. So we don't want from there. We don't want you to. This is the one time I'm asking you not to sing the vowel and just fit the consonants in. This is one of those where I want you to go from their seats. Enjoy the M. Okay. All right, let's do that one more time, please. And actually, let's go ahead and go back so we can get into all this and get a chance to do all this. Holy, holy. Let's start at top of 5, bar 40, and his mercy. Lift out generations, and he hath shown his strength with his lift. He hath scattered the proud in the imagination of them. And light tenors down the mighty from the seat. Keep going. And he hath filled, he hath filled. Unison, lift. And the rich he hath sent empty, empty away. Lift. Remembering his one, he remembering his mercy, upholding his servant Israel. All right, great. So this little next chunk is the in my opinion, you really have to know it's coming up. Otherwise, it flips a switch, and if you're not mentally prepared and know what's coming, it's not going to translate as well. Yeah. So he hath filled the hungry with good things, not so hard. Bottom of 7, picking up into the top of 8. Unison, and the rich he hath sent empty, empty away. Everybody, there's a unison way. Yeah. So we have a couple of things right here. G sharp for the tenors. And his, he hath sent empty. The half step right there, give me emphasis on the first note. Empty, empty away. Okay? Bass, same for you guys. The downbeat of empty. He hath sent empty, empty away. And go away on the word away. Okay? So everybody, just so we all know, he hath sent does not have the same weight or emphasis as empty. Okay? And he hath sent, make that, can you do me a favor? Can you energize all of the consonants between the notes? He hath sent empty. He hath sent empty. That's what we're looking for right there. So if I'm a tenor, he hath sent empty, empty away. That's what we're looking for. Same for the basses. And he hath sent empty, empty away. It's the same concept. Okay, I hope that makes sense. Let's do it together. He. Basses. This is going to feel very unfulfilling, and because you're not the root, right? So it feels a little unsettled. Just know that this is the right note. Here we go. And one other thing, basses, you might be asking yourself the question: how do I find my starting pitch on 74? Well, you've already sang the word rich, and though the rich, right? Here's what you get from the organ. And though the rich, he hath sent. You get your B natural from the pedal notes from the organ, okay? And though the rich, he hath sent empty. Okay, that's what we're looking for. There it is. Tenors. Here we go, 74. And he hath sent empty, empty away. And a 1 and 2 and a 1. He remembering his mercy. And now basses. Again, you're like, how do I get my starting notes? Okay, here's how you get it. Basically, guys, what you're going to be hearing is... you get that on, this is all the interior moving stuff in the organ, right? So what you're really going to be hearing is this. Empty away. And then you get this. Ba. That bottom note is not your note. Ba-da-da. Ba-da-dee. He hath sent. Now I know I'm asking you to do a lot of mental maneuvering, right, while you're not singing. But this is in my mind, orally, the easiest way to find that starting pitch for you basses, okay? So just a reminder, this is what you're going to get. Starting on bar 77, this is the top system, last measure. You're going to get... ba-da-da, he remembering. That's what you're going to hear. So try that one more time. I'm going to do it in time. Here we go, one more time. 77. 1, 2, and he. How'd you do? Let me know in the comments, okay? Ba-da-da. He remembering tenors. You get a minor third. He remembering. Here we go, starting on bar 79. And 1. He remembering his mercy. Now, basses, let me ask you a question. Thank you, Mark. Just like the tenors had up at the top of page 8, bar 3, empty mercy. Same thing for you guys, okay? So that whole note, dig in, and then back away on the E flat, okay? I want a lot on the D natural right there. Okay, here we go. Bottom of 8, same place, bar 79, and 1. He remembering his mercy hath opened his servant his heaven. I can't sing that low very loudly. Okay, so basses, 2 other places, right? Actually, really just one other place that you need to add a little bit of oomph, okay, some chutzpah, and that is bar 83, the B natural, okay? Open his servant, because the tenors are static. Open his servant. Okay, just a quick reinforcement of that, all right? Okay, next little chunk, guys. As he promises to our forefathers. Not too bad. But I will say the bass line right here needs to have so much tenderness and genteelness, okay? So you have this, basses without you, you have this. I mean, it's gorgeous. It's very ethereal, it's very untethered, okay? So you need to throw your bassiness out the door when you get to this chunk. Okay, you need to channel the inner tenor that you've always wanted to be. So, D, as he promised to our forefathers. And here's the deal. Even when you drop down to fathers, there cannot be weight. It has to be da da dee da. You're just reaching down to touch it, and then you're coming right back up. Okay, so basses, do me a favor. Let's just sing your part. So you get your pitch from the tenors, right? So you'll hear the tenors. As he promised to our forefathers, and that's all you're looking for. Okay, and I know you know this, and we've said this 10,000 times. When you have entrances that are coming in after the fact, join the tenors on the B natural. That's already in progress. Okay, so don't make up your own. Join the one that the tenors are singing nice and genteelly. Tenors, let's have you sing your part. 2 and oh, sorry, wrong notes. And sorry, one more time. Tenors, go. As he promised to our forefathers. And then that big jump down, make sure it's fathers. And the last little slabble is almost, it's there, but it's non-existent as far as we're concerned. One other thing, tenors, as we go up the scale, as he promised, backing off on said. Okay, backing off on that said. Everybody make a note. As he promised, said, it's a lift. It's not really much time to breathe, but there is a lift. It's a quarter note, quarter rest. Okay, let's sing both parts. 2, ready, 90, and bass as he promised to our forefathers. And it's a unison G on that last pitch, so make sure that you are spot on in the middle. Okay? All right, and then this little last chunk brings us home. Abraham and his seed. This is its own little phrase, right? This is 97, top of 10. Yep. Basses, let's do your part by itself, please. I'm going to play the alto line with you. Ready, and Abraham and his seed. I'm going to sing the right notes. But notice you have a lovely duet with the altos right there. Okay, just a quick reminder what it sounds like. Gorgeous. So just know, if I'm a bass, I'm listening for the alto line at 97. Okay, tenors, it's pretty static. Your same thing with the sopranos, yeah. Abraham and his seed. Okay, everybody on the word Abraham, we want to make sure that it's an open E, not a closed E. No, Abraham, A. None of that stuff. Don't let the diphthong start to turn. Okay, it's an EH. Yeah, it's a slightly more closed than that, but it's not an and it's not an A. It's an Abraham. Okay, here we go. Parts together, 97. Are ready? And go. And his seed. Good. And now here's the deal. We're going to be tempted on ham to let that just be its own little phraselet, right? No, you have to carry through that whole note. Okay. One more time. Ready, and and his seed. And then we have forever. And I will say this little phraselet right here at 102 and 103 feels very disjunct because it doesn't do what you think it's going to do. And that's because of the bass line. Forever, forever. Basses, yeah. Add the tenors. Forever, ever. That little part right there feels very not tonal. Okay. All right. And then you have your duet guys at the very end. He promised forever. And I love that bass part right there, guys. It comes out of nowhere. Make sure you don't add too much weight right there, basses. Let's sing that bass line. Here we go, bottom of 10. And He promised forever. Have I changed to an R or an by now? No, I have not. It's the. And the listener will know what you're saying. Okay. Notice, guys, you have a lift on 109. Yeah. Said forever. Forever. Tenors, you're staying on the same pitch. Yep. Make sure that you are clean on your cutoff and you're clean on that entrance. Make sure we don't have said forever. Make sure you know where 4 is. Okay, particularly basses. All right, guys. I hope that cleans some things up about this piece because we're going to be recording this sooner than later. All right, quick look at Precious Lord. Take my hand, please. All right, so right here. While you're getting your Precious Lord out, I'm going to play these parts. All right, that's all we're going to get through on this. These are some crunchy stuff. It starts off crunchy from the jump street. So here's what you need to know. Let's just real fast. Who has the weird note right here? It's the tenors. Okay, without the tenors, life's good. Life is fine. Okay, so basses, let's have you sing your part. If you can't do those first 2 measures, you should no longer have your bass card. This is like bread and butter. Yum, bum, bum. Okay, here we go. 1 and precious Lord, take my hand, lead me on, let me stand. I am tired, I am weak, I am worn. All right, so that's your first like cadence. Okay, and we can have a little lift right there. Okay, all these little comma or the apostrophes with the parentheses, those are lifts. Okay, but we're gonna make them essentially 8th note lifts. Okay, we had one little split at bar 12. I am weak. I am weak. I am worn. And here we go. Everybody on the word worn. We're not going to sing war. It's a closed ah. Okay, so it's a covered ah. What I mean by that? Wah. Oh, even almost an open O. One. And that's all you need. One. You need one. Okay? There's no or anything like that. We're not mining for or. Okay? Real fast, basses, that's not hard, right? Out of context, it's completely fine. It's like bread and butter bass. Tenors, let's add you, please. Precious Lord, precious Lord, precious Lord. Ready? And precious Lord, take my hand, lead me on, let me stand. I am tired. And so that one little measure on 15, guys, it's almost, we could have held this on Warn and been completely fine without doing this. That one little bar right there, it's just a quirky little idiosyncratic rhythm, or not rhythm, little harmonic thing the composer does. It just makes it a little bit more interesting. It's like paprika. We sprinkle it, okay? Don't make a big deal about your little ya da da. Just let it happen naturally, okay? Tenor twos and tenor ones, you have a little split, yeah, on the word lead on bar 15, or sorry, bar 5, yeah. Precious Lord, take my hand, lead me on, let me stand. I am tired, I am weak, I am worn. All it is, okay? Next part, through bass line, we're starting in U bottom of 3. Through the storm, through the night. We have a split, right? Baritone and bass. Through the storm. If you sang that, baritone's life is easy. Through the night, through the storm, through the night, baritone. Bassist, this feels much easier. Through the storm, through the night. Okay, let's go ahead and do both parts again. Ready, and through the storm, through the night, lead me on to the light. And then you're off on the rest, okay? Tenors, let's do your part right there, please. Tenor 2 line, that last to the light, that's where it all comes in. You and the alto ones right there. Let's do the tenors. I'll sing this tenor 2 line. And ready, and go. Through the storm, through the night, lead me on to the light. And we're off on beat 4. Light, take my hand, and that's when the basses do their thing, okay? Let's do all parts. Through the storm, bottom of 3, everybody. This is bar 17. And 1 and 2. Through the storm, through the night, lead me on. All right, so I think those are the crunchy parts. And this entire piece of music, the top of 4 is where we get crunchy. So let's just take out the tenor 1s and let's do the basses, baritones, and tenor 2s. Lead me on. I mean, it's gorgeous, but it's really hard to tune. Basses and baritones, yeah? Lead me on, lead me on. Adding in bass 2s and tenor 2s, lead me on. Lead me on. Bass, you have that E natural, E flat against that one. Lift strong, bass 2s. Here we go. All 4 parts, lead me on. Ready, and 1 and 2. On to the light. Take my hand, Lord, and lead me home. Ba-da, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right, and we'll isolate that more. I will make a little recording for you guys just on bar 25 through bar 32 because I feel it's that important to isolate this little part, just because it's tricky unless you're really feeling the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, all right, guys, that is all we have for tonight. We didn't get into the Selig sind die Toten. It's okay. I will post you some other little isolated things to take a look at. I will see you on a Zoom call in 1 minute. Thanks, guys. Good rehearsal.